All right, so now we want to continue looking at the different types of whole numbers. And this time we're going to be looking at squares and cubes. So we need to understand the operation of known as the power. So this is the base. 2 is our base. And this is the exponent. 3 is the exponent. So the base indicated here is the number 2. So 2 is going to be multiplied. 2 is the factor. So whenever you see a base, that is the factor. Now, when you get to the smaller number, which is called a superscript, if you can think of the word pi, power, index, or exponent, this is the number that indicates how often you have to multiply the factor itself. So this is 2 to the power of 3, or 2 raised to the power of 3. Or 3 is the index of the base or the factor 2 or the exponent, however it is. Depending on which level you are at, they'll use these three different words. And it's not supposed to confuse you. Just understand that this tells you how often to multiply. So 2 to the power of 3 is in index form. There is a number of times when you're doing the exam, it will ask you to give an answer in index form. That means that when you write a number in index form, you have to see the index or the power. So if you write 23 and there's no power, then it can't be an index form. The base is written as a large number and the 3 is written as a smaller superscript. Now, the other form is called expanded form. So 2 to the power of 3 can be rewritten or expanded. This is called expanded form. We write the base or the factor the number of times indicated by the power. So that means that if you have the number 2 to the power of 3, I should see the number 2 3 times. 2, 2, 2. So 2 to the power of 3 is equal to 2 times 2 times 2. This is the index form. This is the expanded form. So we want to consider the square. Most of the schools have square tiles on the floor. The square is a geometrical figure or shape that has four angles that are of equal size and all four sides have equal length. When you want to find an area of a shape like this is a parallelogram, by the way. You multiply the base by the perpendicular height. So the base and the height, because it's a square, it's the same size, which means that I could put b here and I could put b here. So the area of a square is b squared. So that means that if I want the area of a square, I just say b times b or side times side, however I want to do it. So we have to multiply the base times the perpendicular height. They're the same size, so you might as well say b to the power of 2 or b squared. So let's assume that the square we're looking at has a base of 5 and a height of 5. Well, the base and the height have to be the same. So the area is known as 5 squared. So this is a square number because when you multiply the number by itself, you're going to end up with a square number. So 5 squared, which is index form, can be expanded as 5 times 5. And so when we multiply 5 times 5, we get 25. So the number 25 is a square number. So if you were asked to find square numbers, you just multiply the number by itself. 7 squared, 49. 3 squared, 9. 10 squared, 100. You'll have a calculator, or if you are a BJC student, just multiply the number by itself to get your square numbers. So let's have a look at what we call the cube numbers. So to obtain the volume of a cube, and it is necessary to multiply the length of the cube by the width of the cube by the height of the cube. Since the length and the width and the height are all the same size, we'll be multiplying the length of the side by itself 3 times. So whereas when we were looking at the square, the power was 2, when we're looking at a cube, the power is 3. Notice this is shaped like a die, which is a singular form of the plural word dice. And so most of you who play Monopoly will recognize this, or backgammon, and this is the shape. And the volume of it is to multiply the length by the length by the length, and that is just going to be to the power of 3. So cube numbers are obtained by saying I need to multiply by the power of 3. So 3 times 3 times 3, which is 27. 4 times 4 times 4, which is 64. 1 times 1 times 1, which is 1. 0 times 0 times 0 is 0. 2 times 2 times 2 is not 6. People, 2 times 2 times 2 is equal to 8. And then, of course, 10 to the power of 3 would give you 1,000.